you got a new puppy for Christmas. Well, there are some great rules of thumb to get this little girl started off on the right paw. Socialize your puppy. Proper socialization can prevent a dog from being fearful of new people, of children, riding in a car, and it will help her develop into a well-mannered, happy companion. To a puppy, the whole world is new. Try to come up with as many different types of people, places, noises, and textures that you can. But make the environment safe. That means until she's fully vaccinated, she shouldn't go to places that are frequented by lots of other dogs. No matter how clean, diseases can lurk where other dogs congregate. So your pup shouldn't walk on the floor of our shelter, pet stores, kennels, doggy daycares, even dog parks. All dogs need full vaccinations before they visit, for the pup's own good. That's why your pet needs to be at least 3 months old before coming to training classes, and why we have people carry puppies through the public places at our shelter. In a safe environment, your home or private residence, have her walk on carpet, hardwood, tile, linoleum, whatever you can put on the floor. Then bring different people into your home. Have them meet an older person, a young person, wearing sunglasses, a hat. Most importantly, when introducing all of these new experiences to your puppy, make sure she's getting treats and praise, and it's positive. And finally, think baby steps. Don't do too much too fast. To get your puppy accustomed to being handled by multiple people she doesn't know, start with a few people. Slowly integrate a stranger. You might not want to invite the whole neighborhood in on the first day, because if the pup gets stressed, clinging or yawning, turning away, give her a break, put her in her crate with the Kong, let her relax, and then try again. So you want to show her the world in a safe and comfortable environment, so she's a confident dog and won't have to choose that fight or flight option. Right, Zoe? For The Dish, I'm Pam Weiss.
New Year's resolutions for our dogs are just as good as they are for us. But we need to help them because they can't do them on their own. So some ideas would be, you're going to give your dog, for the dog's resolution, I'm going to eat less and exercise more. The human, I will make better choices about my dog's food and be sure to get him or her out for nice walks. For the dog, I will beg less. For the human, I will teach my dog the proper way to behave when people are eating. When people sit down to eat, our puppies, our dogs all want to learn to beg. They want to eat what we eat. Hopefully it smells good, so they're enticed. They want to have some of what we have. But it's not appropriate for them to be at the table. So we need to give them a better alternative. Kongs are a wonderful way to do that. You can put part of the dog's meal in that Kong. Depending on the age of the dog, stuff it and freeze it. Put something around that kibble that'll make it stick better in there. Otherwise, you'll just have cold kibble. Then when you sit down to eat, where does your dog need to be? That's where you introduce that wonderful thing. And as long as the dog stays there and engaged with it, the dog can have the item. If the dog chooses to disengage from the item, practice again, set it up, put them back where they need to be, let them have that. If they're a little bit hungry, it's going to help because they'll be more enticed by it. And practice at times that it's not just mealtime. Practice at lots of other times so it just kind of becomes the norm. But something like this is going to be fun for a dog. And it's also a toy. For the dog, I'll introduce myself in more appropriate ways. For the human, I will teach my dog the proper way to greet people. For the dog, I will try not to bark quite so much. For the human, I'll teach my dog a better alternative to barking. With our dogs, lots of dogs like to bark. It's a fun and it's a very self-rewarding behavior, but can be very annoying as well. Lots of times, we just need to help them find a better solution. To just say no doesn't work because they don't understand, I need to get something else. But if you start to teach them, oh, that's not what they want me to do. And maybe like with a puppy, they're dragging a leash in the house. Okay, take the end of the leash if you need to, start walking them off. Or take a toy that's going to be fun and enticing that they haven't seen for a while. Squeak it, throw it the other way, away from what they were barking at. And now they're occupied and doing something else that's far more appropriate besides barking. Sometimes you might need to put in there a good bone if they need something to chew on. a little bit longer than a toy, or if they wreck soft toys or don't like soft toys. Find something they like and don't leave everything out for them.
I love to run, but I can't walk a straight line. It's because of my brain. It's been damaged. My previous owner left me unconscious. I still don't know what I did to make her so angry that night. Amazing people found me and gently nursed me back to health. They gave me my second chance. I once overheard a child ask if I'd walk straight again when I got to heaven. Maybe, but right now, I'm enjoying my little piece of heaven on earth.
I couldn't remember what it meant to fetch, or to shake, or even to run. All I could do was lie down, held captive by my own matted fur, neglected, broken. Incredible people removed the filth and repaired my crippled body. They helped me look and feel and trust like a dog again. I remember someone whispering, "We'll make it better." And after years of abuse, love did just that.
KPAO Community Television, handmade in Omaha since 2013.
Hi everyone, I'm Andy Hoig.
Hi, I'm Paul Madsen.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Mi nombre es Saúl López.
KPAO Community Television, where Omaha talks.
Here at the Nebraska Humane Society, we've always strived to give second chances to any animal that we feel will have a good quality of life. For some, that means working on behavior issues or fixing broken bodies. And sometimes that can be a little more complex. Meet Madison, a sweet American bulldog who loves people and wants to be a part of the action. She won't do well with cats and is a bit selective about her dog companions. She actually prefers boys to girls. Maddie is smart and busy and wants to play and be active, but that got her into trouble. She injured her left knee, a cranial cruciate ligament, which is like our ACL. See how she favors it and kind of bunny hops? The best treatment is surgery, but recovering in a shelter is torture for a busy dog, and it often takes longer due to the stress of being around so many other animals in a strange place. So Maddie will be a special adoption. We'd like to find a family for her, have them foster to adopt her so she can get into a home and get comfortable. Then we'll perform the surgery once she has a home in which to recover. That might take a while, but we'll provide all the care and support so the new family and Maddie will have a good chance of success. This girl is a good dog, and we want to give her the best chance that we can to get treatment and heal, but in a comfortable environment. So, I know, baby. So if you'd like to meet Madison and maybe see if she's the dog for you, you really want to work with a project dog, you can meet her in our general adopt kennels. She's there every day that adoptions are open, just waiting for her forever home. Right, Mad? For the Nebraska Humane Society and The Dish, I'm Pam Weiss.
So in the winter time, when it's cold and we can't be outside as well, or with older dogs, or if you've got a younger dog that can't be out as often and around lots of other dogs because they're not fully immunized, we need to give them things to do that require brain work, that also give them new experiences. Going someplace like your junk closet or the thrift store or the dollar store and getting some cardboard and getting just some different things to glue onto that cardboard that are going to be different for your dog. They have to put it, goes by their faces. So you can put treats on there and let them find it. They get those little things brushing against their faces. Again, it's a different surface. You can have that. Look. gives them something different to feel, something different to think about. A hook rug, those are always fun. But throwing treats in, don't drag them to this, don't force it. If they don't want to, they don't have to. But doing different things like this is a wonderful thing. Finding things in your house that you have. Maybe you've got things that you can put, okay, stuff under. There's a hole at the top, they can sniff it. Can they figure out how to knock it over and get that treat out from under there? Ooh, we slide it and it just keeps sliding. So then she has to figure out how to get it out. Oh. There you go. Oh, not quite. She can smell it. And sometimes if they figure out how to bump it up against something, it might make it flip a little more easily. And she's young, but right here, you found it. That a girl. You can use muffin tins and put in the muffin tins little treats, put tennis balls on top of it, let them figure out how to do that. The other thing is, and some of us will have leftover from our holiday New Year celebrations, is to put something like these little table decorations together, put some treats inside, and just let that puppy have that experience of different things across their face. It's safe, it's not hurting them. But again, they're thinking, they're experiencing new things, which is for a puppy, one of the best things in the world for them. They need to learn all kinds of different things about their environment that it's appropriate for them to have.
I love to run, but I can't walk a straight line. It's because of my brain. It's been damaged. My previous owner left me unconscious. I still don't know what I did to make her so angry that night. Amazing people found me and gently nursed me back to health. They gave me my second chance. I once overheard a child ask if I'd walk straight again when I got to heaven. Maybe, but right now, I'm enjoying my little piece of heaven on earth.
I couldn't remember what it meant to fetch, or to shake, or even to run. All I could do was lie down, held captive by my own matted fur, neglected, broken. Incredible people removed the filth and repaired my crippled body. They helped me look and feel and trust like a dog again. I remember someone whispering, "We'll make it better." And after years of abuse, love did just that.
At the Nebraska Humane Society, our mission, of course, is to get as many animals out into great homes as we can. But we also want those animals to stay in their homes as long as possible. And sometimes, boy, people run into behavior problems or issues that they say, I have no idea what to do. And we have a resource here at the shelter, which is absolutely free of charge, which can really help keep your pet in your home. Joining me to talk about that is Kathy Gannan, who is not only our head of training, but also a person who deals with a lot of behavior calls on our behavior helpline. Kath, thanks for talking to us about this.
Thank you.
First of all, what is the behavior helpline?
It's a resource for people to call and get someone to speak to who can either give you advice on the spot, or they can tell you, they will take all your information, the questions, whatever, and then they will take that and they'll go research it for you. And they will come back to you then within 24 hours and say, okay, this is what I've learned. This is another place you can call. You know, so when we get those animals that are maybe zoo animals, this is a better resource for you than I am.
Absolutely.
And it just gives them that, people don't have to go do this research themselves.
Well, and I think that a lot of our people are trained too. So
Yes.
you've seen a lot of these issues before, or you're thinking, well, we know animal behavior, and here's this, so this probably is what is occurring in this situation.
Correct. So yes, most of it they'll give it to you right on the spot. But if there's something, that's not working, or because lots of times you give them 3-4 suggestions, and if none of those work, then they'll go back and do the research for you and say, okay, let's see what else I can come up with. They'll either ask people, they'll get online, whatever, but they'll do that research for you.
So what do people, and it's a call, but we also deal with emailing as well, right?
Right. You can call, you can email. When you call, you will leave a message, but they will get back to you within 24, 48 hours. With the email, same thing. You can email them. They'll either email you back. If you would prefer that someone calls you back, you can leave your phone number in that email, and they will do it that way as well.
It seems like possibly calling back just for me, because then I can say, but what about this or but what about that? And you don't have to type everything out. To be able to have someone on the other end of the line to kind of bounce some stuff off might be a great alternative.
Exactly. Well, and if someone emails and the person doing the helpline looks at the call or reads the email and says, okay, this is too many things. I have too many questions to just keep emailing back and forth. They will call you.
Great.
So that it's easier.
So what are some of the questions that we get?
The biggest ones are house soiling for dogs and litter boxes for cats.
Because both of those deal with poop.
There you go.
And we know that.
so yeah.
So what if somebody does call and say, oh my gosh, my cat has now, started all of a sudden being outside the litter box. What's your process?
Number one, we ask, have they had their dog or cat to the vet? Because if there's something medical, anything we do behavioral, it's not going to work. So that's the first thing is, have you had your cat checked by the vet? And then we'll talk about the litter boxes. How many litter boxes do you have? There's supposed to be one litter box per cat. You also need to have, if you have multiple levels in your home, you need a litter box on each level, plus one extra for good measure. We ask about, is the litter box a covered litter box? Is it an open litter box? What kind of litter are you using? Is it the same kind you've always used? Did you change? How long ago did you get a new box? Because the plastic boxes will hold the scent, where we won't smell it even though we know we're cleaning it, but the cats can smell it. And after a while, they're like, I'm not using that. How much litter is in the box? Where is your cat having the accidents for not using the box? That way, if they're having, maybe they're having accidents on a hard floor. Maybe you need to take some litter out of the box. Maybe it's too much for them. Maybe they're having accidents on carpet. Maybe they want a little more cush. So you add a little bit of litter. So it just kind of depends. But they'll go through that whole scenario with them. Are there changes in the house? Are there changes outside your house? Is there construction going on? Are there feral cats running around? Do you have new neighbors who now maybe have dogs outside barking all the time, which doesn't happen?
Okay.
People in apartments, there's lots of noises and sounds, and cats are very sensitive to that. Do you have the litter box down where all of a sudden the furnace is kicking on, or the water heater, or those kinds of things? Maybe move it out of there and see what happens, because they don't like all those noises. It freaks them out a bit.
You guys go really in depth then. I mean,
We do.
this isn't just, oh, here's a handout and here you go.
Correct. And we have handouts we can email them also, or mail to them, but we'll go through a lot of these things so that people kind of just start thinking about the whole environment from the cat's perspective, not just from their perspective. And lots of times that's all it takes.
Does it have to be something that's an issue, like, oh my gosh, my dog is digging in the yard, or can it be something like, wow, he just won't walk on leash nicely?
Sure. Either way, we'll work with them. I've had people who've called and said, my dog won't walk on a leash. Okay, so what kind of a leash are you using? Is it a big, heavy leash? So maybe you start in a fenced-in backyard and you put a real lightweight leash on this dog, even if it's a big dog. I had one gentleman that had a bigger dog, wouldn't walk on a leash, so he braided yarn. And we put this dog on a yarn leash, and pretty soon was like, oh, okay, I can do this. There was something about the leash that was terrifying the dog. And then he could go to a regular leash.
Wow.
So yeah, there's just lots of little things you can do.
And there's some innovation there, I think, too, that really helps to try
Gotta be
to
creative.
make sure that people are comfortable with their pets. Do you ever look at longer term? I mean, like maybe should this animal be in a class or something like that?
Yes, they will recommend classes for these animals, private lessons. She'll make sure that people either check back in with her or she'll check back in with them. Just kind of depends on what the deal is, whether it's email or phone. But yeah, it's a great promotion for our classes because there are lots of things that people can do in a class that can help.
And it translates over into normal living then,
Right.
and that way.
And a lot of it's relationship building in a class. And when you get that relationship, the animal settles down a lot too.
Well, and I think too, from taking a class, I know that you didn't really teach my dog. You taught me
Yes.
how to
Exactly.
communicate with my dog.
Exactly.
And then that way, once we were home, it was like, well, we did this in class, so maybe if I try this with a different
Right.
type of an activity and using the same types of skills, you teach us how to teach
Yes.
our dogs.
So that way we communicate. We talk dog to them instead of talking people to them.
The helpline is absolutely free of charge, correct?
Absolutely free.
And it's one of those things, I think, because we want to make sure that pets stay with people as long as possible.
Right, exactly. It keeps those animals in their homes, it just gives people a resource, somebody to call and say, hey, this is my problem. Because people can go online, but sometimes online is much more drastic in a lot of ways. And sometimes it's just a real practical, do this in your house and see what happens. And it's down to earth, and that kind of helps people a lot too.
Well, and having someone you can call and say, hey, so I tried this and this didn't work and this didn't work, or this kind of worked. Am I doing it right?
Exactly.
And going through the process of how to figure it
Exactly.
out. That sounds like something that would really be helpful for people.
It is.
When people call, I know that calling, it's not a hotline, it's
No,
actually a helpline.
it's a
So
helpline,
You
right.
leave a message,
You leave a message, and they'll get back to you within 24 to 48 hours.
like you said, yeah.
And help you out as best they can. And for real drastic problems, then they'll refer you to someone who can handle something that's a more drastic or more serious problem,
Right,
like
right.
aggression.
Sure, something like that where you're
Yes.
like, I'm not sure, in 24 hours we may have a bite
Exactly.
here. So,
Exactly. And
yeah.
then they'll refer you to someone who can help you in that respect as well from here.
People that are on the verge maybe of surrendering a pet, and let's put aggression aside, but because of some of these issues, I mean, this seems to be maybe a last ditch, but something that could help.
Could help, very much so. And for some people, if they don't wait till the last minute, I'm at my wit's end. Don't wait till you're at your wit's end. It's like, okay, I've got these questions, call us. Get your questions answered to make life to that point before you get so frustrated that you don't want to deal with anything. Because sometimes you can just start dealing with it in the beginning and it goes away quickly, especially with new pets that come in from here.
Absolutely. I was going to say, I know that the helpline has helped some people that get pets from here. We don't see things that occur in the home, in the shelter.
Exactly.
And then a pet gets home and gets all comfortable and all of a sudden starts guarding something and
Yes.
you're like, oh my gosh, where did this behavior come
Right.
from?
Well, and those are times too that if they can't feel like they can talk about it over the phone, whether the helpline person or that person, we'll schedule a private lesson. And for an animal from here, for something like that, we'll do a half-hour lesson, and we're not going to charge somebody for that. If it's going to help keep that animal in the home, that's what we want to do
Excellent.
with our little ones we send out.
All right, so for the Behavior Helpline, I do believe that we've got a full-page graphic up as to how people can get in touch with us here at NHS. And Kathy, thanks so much for coming in and giving us some ammo so that we can keep pets in homes.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andy Hoig.
Hi, I'm Paul Madsen.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Mi nombre es Saúl López.
KPAO Community Television, where Omaha talks. KPAO Community Television, handmade in Omaha since 2013.
I didn't always walk this way. All crooked, like I had a few too many. It started after I suffered irreversible brain damage. I don't know what I did to make my previous owner so angry. Sure, I had a few accidents on the carpet, chewed a couple pairs of shoes, but I always tried to make up for it. Gave extra kisses, snuggled a bit closer. I'd sit and stay and wish myself invisible when the yelling got too loud. It didn't matter. I'm told that I was found unconscious that night. Amazing people gently nursed me back to health, waiting patiently by my side and surrounding me with love and the promise of safety. I was given a second chance. I once overheard a little girl ask if I'd walk straight again when I got to heaven. Maybe. But right now, I'm enjoying my little piece of heaven on earth.
joining us for The Dish. We'll have a new show once every 2 weeks that'll bring you more training tips and pet health tips, information about events that are going on at the shelter, and things that you as a pet owner can use. So for now, goodbye, but thanks for joining us and have a great week.